everyone, Assalamualaikum. It's me Fatin and welcome to my chat hour. In today's episode, we will focus on the sustainability in education. Alright, sustainability in education. It does not only see how the culture preserve the environment or how the education emphasis on the preservation of environment, but we want to see how the education shape the way the communities behave in today's society. So in today's episode, there will be a challenge done by three of my friends in which they have to take pictures of what they can found in Japanese university that reminds them of the sustainability in education initiatives. So without further ado, let's sit back and relax and enjoy the video. Roll up. Hi Amira.
Hi.
Okay, so how do you feel today?
Well, I'm great, but I am sad because today is our last day in Japan.
Yes.
That's okay. We're going back to Malaysia.
Yay! Okay, so back to our discussion on the theme of sustainability in education. Is there any innovation or initiative done by the Japan schools or universities that you recognize? And can you share with us?
Yes, I have a picture of something that I think is sustainable. So the picture is here. This one. So this is a waste bin where students will have to sort their waste. For the red one is the waste that can be burned, and the green one is the general waste. So this waste, before students want to throw out their rubbish, they have to separate it according to the bins. So that is what I saw in the Utsunomiya University.
So do you think it helped the students?
Well, yeah, I think this habits is very good because it helps the students to protect their country, because actually burning something that cannot be burned is also dangerous. So this is an effort done by their country to protect the sustainability changes.
After seeing the design of the sustainability initiatives done by the university and the school, do you think it changed your view or habits in your daily life as a future educator that will become the role model for your students?
Okay, well, I think by using the separate waste bins, I think it actually teaches us to be a responsible person. So when it teaches me how to be responsible, even as little as by separating waste into bins, it makes me become a better person, and not only as a person but also as a teacher, as a future teacher, so that I can be a role model not only for those near me but also to my future students.
Another question. Do you think that this idea of separating the waste, like the burn one and the cannot burn one, is easy to be applied in our education system? What do you think?
Well, I think it might be easy, but it's also hard because our pupils don't know what can be burned and what cannot be burned. So it is kind of difficult, and it is not common in Malaysia. But if we practice the tradition or the practice from early age, maybe we could normalize the act of separating the burnable waste and also the cannot burn waste.
So, opinion, what challenges that maybe, okay, let's say we want to apply this idea in Malaysia education system. So what are the possible challenges that the schools in Malaysia have?
The challenges, I would say that our students are free to do anything, and our rules in schools are not that strict. So even though the current rule are not being practiced by students, so I think to implement this to become a better, you need to do a very strict training to ensure that the waste can be separating into its own category in order to save the earth, the environment, and our surroundings.
Okay, last but not least, I would like to ask your one suggestion on how our Malaysia education system can improve the way how we promote sustainability in education.
Okay, well, one suggestion that I could provide is maybe related to the previous question, which is the challenges. Well, in order to make sure that the students follow or abide the rule, such as the red bin is for the burn waste and the green bin is for the cannot be burned waste. Maybe school can implement a strict rule where pupils will be fined or maybe punished with simple things if they did not abide the rules. And another suggestion that I could give, that maybe the government or any NGO can provide sufficient funding for schools to ensure that sustainable education can be implemented in our country. So I think that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Mira.
Alright, thank you. Bye.
Hi, Adiba. Okay, how are you today?
So I'm doing fine today. The weather is quite cold, but I think I'm feeling great.
Okay, so thank you for joining me in this chat hour session. So as you know, our theme for today's chat hour session is about sustainability in education. So I have a few questions to ask you based on your experience visiting two universities, which are the Usunomia and Waseda University. So the first question, what is one sustainability initiatives or designs that you notice exist in the Japan universities?
Okay, so if I were to compare it with Malaysia, I think Japan has more effort in recycling. So if you go anywhere, including it doesn't matter, airports or universities or wherever, even parks, you can find like many different trash cans and recycle cans or recycle bins that you can put things inside. So for example, I have this one picture. You can see that here and here is for the trash can, so you can put general trash inside, but there is also recycle bins for bottle cans and plastic bottles. So honestly, I feel like Malaysia, we do have these things, but one thing is that we don't really apply it in our daily life. There are recycle bins, some places very rarely, but even if they do, you can see that they're usually empty, or people don't really organize them because Malaysians are quite less knowledgeable on how to recycle. Like for example, what is acceptable to be put inside plastic bottles? What is acceptable to be put inside bottles or cans? So honestly, even me or my friends are sometimes confused because we don't have like enough knowledge or teaching on what is considered bottle, cans, plastic bottles, and so on. So I think this is one of the things that Japan really teaches their people to do to sustain the environment or so on.
Okay, so in your opinion, do you think that those designs or the initiatives for promoting sustainability in education helps learners or students, even the adult learners, in conserving our environment?
Definitely, because we all know the advantages of recycling. It can save materials, for example, recycling papers can save more trees and so on. Plastics use a lot of burning, and a lot of effort are used in making plastic. So these are making a lot of damage to our earth. So it's a problem it causes a bit of a problem to sustainability in our world, especially. So since Malaysia don't really apply the culture of recycling, I believe it can be a bit of a problem. And whereas Japan, they do lots of those things. Even in neighborhoods, they do cleaning programs, or like gotong royong in their neighborhoods, and they would have a big day where they organize all the recycled things in huge bags. So they put everything that they collect it and organize it at their homes to specific big bags so they can send it to lorries or trucks so they can send it to the center. So I think this is something that we should apply more in our country.
Okay, so after seeing all those innovations or all those initiatives taken by the government or the education system in Japan, does it change your view or any habits in your daily life, especially considering that you are a future educator that will become the role model for your student?
Okay, honestly, if you ask me, I try to. I feel like I should make it a habit, but it's quite hard to apply it in your daily life, recycling especially, because we don't really have the culture to recycle, right? So even if I do it myself, if the people around me don't do it, it doesn't really make a change. That's one. And secondly, there's not really awareness to do it. So for example, if I live with my family, and if I'm the only one who recycles, so for example, right, I put my things for my papers that I want to recycle in certain places, but then for example, one of my siblings, they don't know that I'm trying to recycle, so they just take the papers and I put it in the trash can. So it doesn't make a change. It's gonna ruin the intention that I had, right? It doesn't. The paper are not going to be recycled. So it's hard when it's only you trying to apply it in your daily life. And personally, I tried to before this, even before coming to Japan, I did try to like implement more of recycling in my daily lives. But honestly, even I myself am a bit not knowledgeable on how to recycle much. I try to educate a lot on myself, but there are a lot of materials in the world, like packages, food packages, drink packages, parcel boxes. So all these things, it can be quite doubtful when and which category should the materials go to when recycling. So this makes recycling a bit more harder because we're not really or how I would say have the correct knowledge about it. So but in the future, I think we as future teachers should definitely teach us more about recycling so that we can give all those knowledge to our students, because it all starts from the teachers, it all starts from the parents and the grown-ups. So when you teach them, maybe inshallah one day our future generation can start applying more recycling habits in their life. And if I'm not mistaken, back in my days when I was in Sekolah Rendah, my teachers did have an effort in making us recycle. So there was a competition that people who recycled a few amount of things, I can't remember, I think it was like 10 kota of kota. The kota, you gotta like wash it and tie it around. So if you did like 10 of those, you can get a few ringgits of that. So that is a cost, that's like a system reward that you can apply to encourage the students to recycle since they're young. To, how do I say, nurture them and teach them from a young age on the importance of recycling. So I think that is actually a really, really good effort in teaching the students on making a good habit of themselves. So in the future, maybe I would like to apply the same method if possible. So that's what I think as future educators.
Okay, so I have another question. So what are the challenges that you think the schools, especially in Malaysia, face in terms of promoting the sustainable environment in education?
So, okay, in my opinion, I think that there are many challenges, but one of them is that there is a proper idea on how recycling programs should be implemented, but the people who are implementing it don't really go through with it, like don't stick with it. So for example, in my opinion, right, back when I was in elementary high school, there are many Kitar Semula programs or like recycling programs that are implemented, that are, done or organized in schools. Like, if I'm not mistaken, almost every school in Malaysia, the government schools. But I feel like it didn't really work out because none of the teachers actually went through with it, because there is like, programs, like there's a specific day where everyone, talk about it. There's gonna be like speeches and stuff, but there are not many students who actually do the recycling. So I mentioned previously, right? There are reward systems that are given to students who come with like 10 stacks of kotak, minuman kotak that are washed and like unfolded. But I feel like not many people did that because personally I did it, but some of my friends didn't because they are just not really motivated to go to do it and they don't really care about the reward system. So I think that if teachers actually emphasize and like stress on the importance of learning and mention it in most classes, I think it would make a big difference. So I believe the idea was there. The idea by the higher ups was definitely a good one, but I guess the implementers didn't really implement it well. That is personally my opinion. So I feel like there should be more emphasis on it, especially in the curriculum. Perhaps they can include it in science, like how to recycle and why are these things recycled as so I think it's really important to educate because I think even me or among my friends are still unsure on how to recycle properly, and because materials can be a bit complicated sometimes, so I think it's good to educate ourselves about it too. So that is my opinion.
Okay, so that would be your suggestion on how to improve our education systems. Alright, so I think that's all. Thank you so much, Adiba, for a really insightful sharing. Ira,
Hi,
okay, how do you feel today?
I'm feeling very good, very energetic, and I'm really excited to continue our journey to Tokyo.
Okay, so back to our discussion on the theme of sustainability in education. Do you notice any sustainability initiatives done by the school or university in Japan?
Yeah, I did notice a lot actually of the sustainability features. Okay, a little of backstory. Actually, I am one of the 4 students that went to the school. It's called as an Uday Elementary School. So I noticed a lot of sustainable features about the Japanese elementary school. Okay, so one of them I'm gonna show you is the shoes rack. Okay, so this is not just an ordinary shoes rack. So what they did was basically they prepared you and provide you slippers, an indoor slippers. So what you have to do is that when you go to the school, you have to like open your shoes and then put your shoes in the rack, and then you have to wear the slippers provided by the school. So why did they decided to do this? A little of explanation is that because schools in Japan, they don't have cleaners. So what they have to do is that the student need to clean themselves up. Alright, so they need to do everything. Basically need to like keep the floor clean. So when they wear slippers, indoor slippers inside the schools, they can keep the floors clean. So they don't have to like mop the floors all over again.
Okay, so do you think it helped to train the students to practice self-hygiene?
Yes, of course, because when students understand the importance or like the significance of keeping themselves clean, of course they will like take the habits, right? They will pick up the habits into their daily life, and that will make them more disciplined and more sustainable in a way.
Okay, so I have another question. Is this kind of sustainability innovations or designs familiar in Malaysian universities or school? What do you think?
So for me, personally, I do think that we are familiar with keeping our shoes outside, but that's only applied in certain places or like certain room, right? For example, if we go to certain libraries in certain school, they will ask you to like open the shoes and put outside, but that's only like in a room, not like the whole school, right? So that's quite different from what I found in Japan, because when you like keep your outdoor shoes outside, it means that they don't have to think about each room need to clean like floor in each room. So that's why I think that it can be applied in Malaysian classroom also, or in Malaysian school also, in order for the kids to make themselves sustainable and also keep them clean always, like keep the environment in school clean.
Okay, so after seeing those innovations or designs, is there any changes that you would like to add on or maybe change in order for you to become a better future educator that will be the role model for the students?
That's a very nice question. For me, I think I'm going to adopt their habits. If, for example, in the future, maybe if I get posted and I were to become a homeroom teacher, I can actually apply that in my class. For example, maybe I can ask my students to open their shoes outside, and then I provide them the indoor slippers, right? So that my class will always clean, and then the students don't have to keep a schedule to actually to actually sweep the floor, because in Malaysia's classroom we actually have the everyday schedule for the students to sweep the floor, to also wipe the window and all of that, so that maybe that will lesser the students' burden in the classroom. Yeah.
Okay. So do you think this idea is easier or easy to apply in our Malaysian education system?
I think it's easy to apply because we Malaysian, we quite different from the West. The West, they always keep their shoes inside their houses, so it might be hard for them to apply this kind of rule. But for us Malaysian, we actually applied this, like I've said to you, in certain places, like in our house, right? So I don't think there's there's hard to apply in our school environment. Yeah.
Okay, last question. If you could give any suggestion to improve the sustainability in education, especially in Malaysia education system, what would it be and why?
Okay, so my suggestion, my recommendation would be maybe the government can provide some fund to the school in order for them to prepare the shoes rack, and also not just simple shoes rack, maybe give good quality shoes rack in order to maintain the school cleanliness.
Okay, thank you Syahira.
Thank you, Fatin.
We've come to the end of today's Chat Hour episode. The visit to Usonomia and Waseda University as well as the school has provided valuable insights into how sustainability is being integrated within Japan educational systems. One key observation is that sustainability is not treated as an isolated concept, but rather as an embedded daily practices within the culture of their community. Simple yet structured initiatives such as the clear waste separation systems, the organized shoe rack practices and the accessible recycling stations demonstrates to us how sustainable behavior can be cultivated through consistency and shared responsibility. So these initiatives encourage students to participate actively, allowing sustainability to become a habit, not an obligation. From the perspective of Malaysian education systems, these approaches are highly adaptable. Within the classrooms and schools, educators play a major role in modeling the sustainable behavior and designing learning environments that promote responsibility, awareness, and active participation among students. Therefore, sustainability in education extends beyond the formal instructions. It should be reinforced through routine practices and the school environment itself. The key takeaway from this experience is that meaningful sustainability in education starts with a small intentional actions that are consistently practiced. When the educational institutions model the sustainable behavior, students are more likely to internalize these behaviors into their daily life. With that, thank you so much for joining today's Chat Hour episode. We hope that this sharing provides practical insights and inspire you to continuously practice sustainable behavior that can preserve the environment. Because when sustainability becomes a part of everyday learning, small habits can actually lead to a lasting change. With that, thank you for your kind attention and see you in the next Chat Hour episode. Bye bye.